The Middle East is once again facing a dangerous escalation as tensions between Iran, Israel, and the United States continue to grow. The situation has become one of the most serious geopolitical crises in recent years. According to reports from Reuters, military tensions in the region have sharply increased. The conflict has raised fears of a wider war across the Middle East. Analysts say the roots of the conflict go back many years. Iran and Israel have long been rivals with deep political and military tensions. The United States has also played a central role in the regional balance of power. Reports from BBC News indicate that recent attacks have significantly increased instability. Missile alerts and air defense activations have been reported in several areas. People across the region are watching the developments with concern. Military analysts say the situation could escalate rapidly. Some experts believe the conflict could reshape Middle Eastern politics. Several countries are closely monitoring the developments. Diplomatic efforts are also taking place behind the scenes. International leaders have urged restraint. Reports from Al Jazeera suggest that tensions have reached a critical point. The conflict has also triggered debates about regional security. Some governments fear that more countries could become involved. Military bases across the region are on high alert. Security experts say the situation remains extremely fragile. Oil markets have also reacted to the rising tensions. Energy analysts warn that disruptions could affect global supply. According to CNN, global leaders are discussing possible diplomatic solutions. Meanwhile, military movements have been reported in several areas. Air defense systems have been activated in response to potential threats. Satellite imagery has shown increased military activity. Experts believe intelligence monitoring has intensified. Strategic locations are being closely watched. The Strait of Hormuz has again become a focus of global attention. This waterway is one of the most important oil shipping routes in the world. Any disruption there could affect global energy markets. Shipping companies are carefully monitoring the situation. Insurance costs for cargo ships have already increased. Some commercial vessels have adjusted their routes. Regional tensions have also affected financial markets. Investors are concerned about possible escalation. Political analysts say diplomacy remains the best option. However, trust between the parties remains very low. Historical conflicts continue to influence present decisions. Military alliances also play a major role. Several regional groups have expressed support for different sides. This increases the complexity of the situation. Experts say the conflict is not only military but also political. Information warfare is also taking place online. Social media platforms are filled with conflicting narratives. Governments are trying to control misinformation. Meanwhile, civilians across the region remain worried. Many families fear the possibility of wider war. Air raid shelters have been prepared in some areas. Emergency response teams are on standby. Humanitarian organizations are closely monitoring events. According to the New York Times, international diplomacy is intensifying. Foreign ministers from multiple countries are holding urgent talks. The United Nations has also expressed concern. Calls for de-escalation are growing louder. However, military readiness continues to increase. Some analysts warn that a small incident could trigger a larger conflict. Others believe both sides may try to avoid full-scale war. Regional powers are also playing a diplomatic role. Back-channel negotiations may be taking place. Strategic calculations are constantly changing. Military planners are preparing for different scenarios. Defense systems across the region remain on alert. Intelligence agencies are closely analyzing developments. Experts say the coming days could be critical. Global media continues to report new developments. Public interest in the conflict is growing rapidly. News channels are providing continuous updates. Political debates are taking place in many countries. Security experts are appearing on television discussions. Different analysts offer different predictions. Some believe tensions may eventually decrease. Others fear a prolonged confrontation. Economic consequences could also be significant. Energy markets remain extremely sensitive. Oil prices often react to news from the region. Traders watch every new headline carefully. International airlines are also monitoring airspace risks. Some flights have adjusted routes as precaution. Travel advisories have been issued in some regions. Embassies are closely following the situation. Citizens abroad are being advised to remain cautious. Meanwhile, humanitarian groups emphasize the need to protect civilians. War always brings suffering to ordinary people. Families often become the biggest victims of conflict. Hospitals and emergency services prepare for possible crises. Medical supplies may become critical if fighting expands. International aid organizations remain ready to respond. Diplomats continue their efforts to reduce tensions. Peace talks are often difficult but necessary. History shows that wars can have unpredictable outcomes. Leaders must carefully consider every decision. Millions of lives can be affected by political choices. The world continues to watch the situation closely. Experts say communication between governments is crucial. Misunderstandings can sometimes escalate conflicts. Strategic patience may prevent disaster. Military strength alone cannot solve political disputes. Dialogue remains the most effective long-term solution. The Middle East has seen many conflicts in the past. Each conflict has left deep scars on the region. People across the world hope for stability. Peace and cooperation remain the ultimate goal. The Middle East has seen many conflicts in the past. Each conflict has left deep scars on the region. People across the world hope for stability. Peace and cooperation remain the ultimate goal. The global community continues to observe every new development. News organizations provide updates almost every hour. Journalists are working in difficult and dangerous conditions. Accurate reporting is essential during such crises. Reliable information helps people understand the situation. Rumors can easily spread during times of tension. That is why trusted news sources remain important. Governments also release official statements. These statements often influence public perception. International diplomacy often moves quietly. Negotiations sometimes happen away from cameras. Behind closed doors, important discussions may take place. Diplomats try to reduce misunderstandings. They also work to prevent accidental escalation. Military communication channels sometimes remain open. These channels can prevent dangerous miscalculations. Strategic restraint can save many lives. Experts often remind leaders of the risks of war. Modern warfare can spread quickly. Regional conflicts can become international crises. Allies may feel pressure to take sides. This increases the risk of a larger confrontation. Economic effects can also spread globally. Financial markets dislike uncertainty. Investors become cautious during geopolitical crises. Global trade can also be affected. Shipping routes may become more dangerous. Insurance costs can rise significantly. Businesses may delay investments. Tourism can also decline in affected regions. Air travel may become more restricted. Security concerns often change travel patterns. Meanwhile, humanitarian organizations prepare contingency plans. Refugee flows are possible during major conflicts. Neighboring countries often feel the impact first. International aid groups prepare emergency supplies. Medical teams stand ready to respond. Food and water supplies can become critical. Infrastructure damage can create long-term problems. Rebuilding after war is often extremely difficult. Communities may take years to recover. Children are often deeply affected by conflict. Education systems may also suffer disruptions. Economic recovery may take decades. This is why prevention of war is so important. Diplomatic solutions can protect millions of lives. International cooperation is essential. Global institutions play an important role. The United Nations often acts as mediator. Peacekeeping missions sometimes help stabilize regions. However, political solutions remain the most effective. Trust between nations takes time to build, but it can be destroyed quickly by conflict. That is why responsible leadership is critical. Leaders must balance security and diplomacy. The future of the region may depend on these choices. The world hopes that tensions will eventually decrease. People everywhere want peace and stability. History teaches that dialogue can resolve even difficult disputes. The coming weeks may prove decisive. Global attention will remain focused on the Middle East. News organizations will continue reporting developments. Diplomatic efforts will likely intensify. Military forces will remain vigilant. And the world will keep hoping that conflict does not expand further.